My home office. Hi everybody, it's Susan Murphy Patereau. I'm at my home office and I am leading the discussion today about for the Gilroy Chamber of Commerce Social Media Forum, and we're talking today about Pinterest. We haven't had anybody join our conversation today on our hangout yet, hoping that a few of you will join in as we go along. I am going to go ahead and get started. I have a few things to talk about, and as people come in, I'll let them introduce themselves. So, Pinterest for your small business is what the title of our discussion today is, and it is really important in the social media world now. It has a lot of followers and a lot of activities going on, and it has opportunities for business, but not everybody totally understands how a business can really make that useful and used. And one of the reasons I think is that not all of us have an actual product to sell. Some early successes on Pinterest were people who had products to sell, particularly small products, so they could visually show them. They could take a picture of them and show them on Pinterest, and people could say, yeah, I want to buy that, and so they would click on it and go there and buy that through the store or something like that. So not everybody has that. Certainly I don't in real estate, although I do have things to sell. People don't come to Pinterest looking for houses for sale. There are other usual avenues for that people pick still. So how can a real estate person use it? I ask that all the time. And then how can other service businesses use it? How can other small businesses use it and make an impact? And not necessarily, especially geographically based businesses. You do business in Gilroy and around Gilroy, and so you you want to do something with Gilroy business. So in the geographic area, I got a message coming in here. I'm going to check this message right quick and see what I can do. Oh, yeah, that's okay. So anyway, how can you make it so where it's not necessarily useful for you to have people in Germany or China or something following your pins and knowing what you're pinning about? You really need more local-based, geographically based people close to your center of your business. So we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm using a guide sheet today from one of the chamber gurus, Chamber of Commerce on social media. His name is Frank Kenny, and he sent out some pointers the other day, 3 ways to rock Pinterest for chambers. So he's talking specifically to member-based Chamber of Commerce businesses, but this could be for a lot of businesses, a lot of our small businesses, and a lot of those chamber members. So let me just go ahead and go over a couple of things that Frank says in his Pinterest tips for chambers. What he recommends when you're setting up your Pinterest page is that you don't use a personal page for your chamber, use a business one. And Pinterest does have a business setup now. If you don't use the business setup through Pinterest, you'll be foregoing helpful analytics if you post things under your personal page. The businesses have more analytics. So Pinterest Business Analytics will allow you to see who shares your pins as well as who pins things off your website. So that's an important part of setting up your business, is to then know if people are coming there, and if they aren't, and you measure it and you check the analytics, then what to do about it. The next point he goes into is things you should be doing to maximize the search optimization on your page. So he's saying use your chamber name as your business page name. Well, for us, the rest of us, we should use our business name as our Pinterest name when we set it up. So if you haven't done that, if you've used a different catchy name or something cute, maybe you should go back to, or when you're just first starting out, start out as your business name. And then the next pointer on SEO is use the bio. There's 160 characters in the bio, which isn't very long, but it's a little longer than a tweet. So you could use that to say some important things about your business and use a keyword in there. For instance, for me, I would use, I'm at Intero Real Estate, so I would use real estate, and I would use Intero, and then home selling, home buy. So you pick out your key search engine optimization words, keywords, and then you make sure you get those in that 160 characters. And then when you get to boards, and we'll talk more about boards in a minute, but name your boards using keywords or phrases that are important or valued to your business. And we'll talk about a little more about that. Then take time to rename your pictures. You know, when you take a picture, your camera or your cell phone just sort of automatically assigns it a number name, an odd name. So before you upload it, rename those to something pertinent to your business and to the topic that you're showing. So don't just leave that odd number, non-searchable camera assigned business name or numbers name to it. And then let's see, write a description with the key phrases in mind for your SEO. And then if you upload your own images and images you took for your own permissions, add your logo on them. So before you upload it, take some time to identify and maybe even watermark your businesses. Sometimes watermarking is across the whole photo, but not always. It can be just a little button down in the corner that says your business name, or even sort of like the lower third that goes on here is in the bottom of your picture. Identify it as your business identity or brand on the picture. That way people will know where they got it. And that takes some time, and it does. Besides now Pinterest, being better at Pinterest and the expert at Pinterest and learning how to use that, you have to get ready for that with these pictures. And so you've got to do some photo editing and figure out how to do that. You know, for more advanced photo editors, using like programs like Photoshop, and those are high-end programs, but you can do it pretty easily in high-end programs like that, but you got to learn how to use it. Some of the other things that have come along lately are your free programs on the internet. So they're internet-based. You don't have to buy the program. And a couple of them that I've highly recommended are the PicMonkey application. You can get it both on the internet, on your computer, as well as on your smartphone or tablet. So you get an app for those. And then the other one that I just recently got introduced to, very similar to PicMonkey, is Canva, C-A-N-V-A. So that one's another good one to check out. It makes it easy for you to do photo editing if you don't know much about editing photos and photo editing programs. So, but you have to do some work on your photos before you pin them, because you want to make sure you have good photos to pin, good graphics. And if you're just using you know, a snapshot you took from your camera and renaming it, you really ought to go through the editing part of it first to crop it down and make it showing the right, centered on the right thing that you want to show, and then putting, again, I said, your watermark on it, your identity, your brand, so that people know where it came from. So those are things. So edit photos, and of course Pinterest is photo image based. So photos are they take some attention before you actually just post them. Then, and I'll bring the caution up here too right now, and that is that not every photo is available for you to use. You have to, if you're using somebody else's photo, you have to attribute it. And you have to make sure it's not copyrighted and that you have the right to use it and post it. So be sure and find out those kinds of things. And that's all available on the Pinterest frequently asked questions and things like that. So you should definitely check that out. But you can't just post anybody's photo that you see on the internet. All right. But in the case of small business, there is a lot you can do. And don't be intimidated by it, but you do want to know the rules and be careful about that. Okay, now Frank goes on to specify a little bit. In your account, when you set it up, you do your business name and you do your bio, and then you work on boards. And we're going to take a look at some Pinterest boards here in a few minutes. But Frank wants you to remember that you don't pay by the board. It's all free. So you can have many, many, many boards. So don't skimp on the number of boards you have, says Frank. And he includes some ideas for boards for a Chamber of Commerce. But these are translatable into a lot of small businesses, certainly. He said you can start out with events, and of course the Chamber has a lot of events, but you could do local events, industry-specific events, those kinds of things for you and your particular businesses and industry. And locally based businesses can always post Chamber events as events going on in and around Gilroy, so that's a good thing. And to post then that you're attending this or can't make it but hope other people will, or something like that, is a good thing too, just to let people know your community and those kinds of things. All right, and then inspirational quotes. Now that's not my favorite thing to do anymore. That's a pretty used kind of topic, so I tend to shy away from that. But tell me what you think. What do you think about having a board of inspirational quotes, or are you all inspired out? I might be all inspired out, I guess. Special recipes. Pinterest started as a recipe board, recipe area. People post food and recipes all the time. And so even if your industry doesn't specifically relate to recipes, recipes are of interest to Pinterest followers and browsers. So putting a recipe in somewhere for something and somehow mentioning something about it in your business might be a good idea. Hometown treasures. Now I use this one. I do want people in real estate to get to know Gilroy and the community. They might be moving here from out of the area, even from north, from San Jose and that area, still semi-local, but not really know Gilroy very well. So local treasures are a very good thing, and I'll show you in a minute how I kind of use that. I don't title it local treasures, but that's the same. And then another kind of same topic is popular sites around town. Then he goes on visual symbols of your town or area. And he says, think about those emails you get with lists that read, you know you're from Gilroy if, and so you could do something like that and get those popular things in. Certainly garlic is open for discussion on any board that you do locally for your local business. Then social media tips, and that's a great one for anybody. People are always interested in social media tips. Infographics for business, and I feel sort of about infographics the same way I feel about inspirational quotes. I'm sort of infographicked out. I don't think those are terribly useful, although they are graphic centered and they have a lot of information on them that doesn't require reading. But sometimes I think, and here's my problem with them mostly, is I think they have too much information on it many times. So I think that's a problem sometimes. But infographics, and that, you know, when it comes down to it in real estate, I get some infographics and I do post some, but I'm a little tired of infographics, so I don't do that a lot. You decide what you're going to do on that. And then for this one, Frank says, is a board for members' upcoming events around town. So in the case of the Chamber of Commerce, they could get a group board going for members, and people could post their events or their activities or maybe their special things that are going on in their brick and mortar location, those kinds of things. Not sure, sales, I don't know, maybe, I guess, yeah. But events for there, he's suggesting like Super Bowl Saturday, what's going on, what are you doing, what are you going to, what are you having, or back to school activities, something like that. And then he's saying the post could be a best post. So he's suggesting a best brunch, a best park, a best brew, and maybe let people post to those, what do they think is the best. And those group boards come up when you do that. That allows your followers to add posts to your board. And then it does suit, Frank says that Pinterest suits any chamber interested in attracting more people to its area, showcasing themselves or their sites, or just connecting with people on a visual medium. And so that actually translates to small business. Pinterest suits any small business interested in attracting people to the area, showcasing themselves or their site, and connecting with people with a visual medium. So those are the tips that Frank gives for chambers of commerce. And so now and then translatable to business. So now I definitely thought that I would show you some boards on Pinterest to give you an idea of what you could do. And so I'm going to share my screen here and go out to the Pinterest board, and we'll start with my profile. My home, Pinterest home, is called Team Patereau, and we use Team Patereau in all of our branding. So I explained there then that buy or sell real estate. So my bio is pretty in-depth. And then my boards down here are from my real estate blog. So I have a blog, and I post what every day I'm posting on my blog. So you can get a link back to that. Then my listings. Then I go to Gilroy Food and Beverages, Gilroy Wineries and Wine, and make a few recommendations on those. Gilroy Theater, what's going on. We have a pretty active Gilroy Theater community now, so that's fun. Then I do some home financing. This one is my first board. I just leave it there. I tried pinning a bunch of different things on that. I did one holiday thing here, holidays, but I haven't really gotten into posting there. I do Gilroy Business, and a lot of that has to do with the Chamber of Commerce activities. And let me just show you that, because I wanted to show you that you can link in YouTube videos, videos from other sites. So you can link those in, and that will play. You can get it to play. Besides just the still graphic, you can have videos in there. Pinterest is about videos. So I do quite a bit of chamber activities and business like that on that one. So you could certainly do something like that for whatever business you have. Then I do some tips, home buyer tips and home seller tips. Now you could have tips for your business, whatever business you're in. Property management, we have a wing for that, so we talk about that. My Intero information, real estate professionals activities. Here's the Gilroy events one I have, and I have a lot of activities that come up there on that. I've posted the Yogurt fundraiser, the passport weekend, recycling, e-waste recycling. So a lot of things you can do there, whatever you see happening. And a good clue is your Facebook page, the events that are happening there, you could use on that. And then I have things that really get a lot of shares, a lot of hits mixed in with all this. Is I do watercolor and artwork, and so I have a Susan's sketchbook and Susan's watercolor paintings, and I get a lot of repins from that, which is nice, but it does really help my business. But you have to add, remember, this is social media, and you have to add in some personal things to your business message. So don't be afraid to do that, and don't be afraid to attract some attention with that, and then in some ways maybe lead them back to what else you're doing on Pinterest. So that's me. And then I wanted to show you another member very active on Pinterest, and shows you how to use Pinterest and knows about how to do that, and that's iBrandYourBusiness. And iBrand, you probably have seen Jen Benninger and Teresa Santa on this show. They're active in our social media forum, and they have active, of course, social media all across the internet, but their iBrandYourBusiness is here on Pinterest, and they have several facets of their business. So they have a web design board, and they show you some of the websites they've designed. They've designed some logos, and they show you those. Their branded edition packs. So they talk about what they have for sale and what you could buy. And so their packages are in that one. So you might be led back to their website to purchase a package from them. They do a lot of videos, and so this is their video page where they do tutorials and things. They have some social media aboard where they do some social media tips. Then there's inspirational things, people and inspirations. And this is Figure Mommy. And I'm not sure what that's about. We should check that out. Words of Wisdom, Smart Online Marketing. They have business cards is another facet of their business, so they show you some examples of that. They have blog advice, so they have a blog, and so they post their blog there every day. There's their favorite quotes. There's their brand, Jen and Teresa's brand. Items that are making a difference. Pinterest marketing tips. Wow, we should all be looking at that one, I think. So a lot of and there's a list of their clients, and they link to those on Pinterest. That's a really good idea. So anyway, check out iBrandYourBusiness when you're deciding how you want to set up your business and how to do it. The other one is, I thought I had one for Chambers. This is Frank Kinney. Now, I told you he gave me these ideas for Pinterest for your business. He's a chamber guru, chamber professional. He does quite a few hangouts, so he's a HOA professional too, a guru. But Frank Kinney's ideas are pins for chamber members. So you could look at Frank's and repin that for you, social media and more. Chamber Focus Show, and that's his link to his hangouts that he does and talks about chamber specific topics. If you're doing any videos, that's a really good idea then to spread them out, you reach out by putting them on Pinterest. He has family. He's introduced some personal stuff in there. His dream board, another personal thing. He's done some social media presentations, and he likes other people that do them that are available, so he puts those up. Then the inspiration board, then his travel, been there, done that board, his favorite things board, and his chamber professionals. Those are people that subscribe to him and pay him dues, and he links to them here and on his other sites. So Frank Kinney. And then let's go back to here, because I had up a while ago, Chambers of Commerce. That's what I had up. So although we don't have any chambers, our chamber isn't on it, the Gilroy chamber isn't on it, you can see that other chambers of commerce are, and you could kind of check out and see that how that relates to us today is that you could, for your industry, look up your industry and see what other businesses in your industry are doing, and then kind of model your boards and your site, your Pinterest site, after some of the other people, pick up some of their good ideas. So, so for instance, I look up real estate and see what other people are doing, and I look up social media to see who's good in social media, or whatever I'm interested in, you look it up. So those are the kinds of things that happen on Pinterest. So now I'm going to go back to my wait, I'm going to go back to this and see if I can, my Hangout, and get back to me. There we go. So I'm back to me. We haven't had anybody else join the discussion, and it's about halfway through our discussion, and I might be fresh out of things to talk about at this point without somebody else chiming in or going over anything they'd like to go over. So let's see. I do want to recommend, before I cut it off, before I cut the discussion off, I do want to recommend that you look. I found some really good ideas for Pinterest and Pinterest tutorials on YouTube. And of course, Pinterest has some tutorials on their help site, Pinterest help site. So you could check them out there, but I did find some other really helpful ones on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and look up Pinterest tutorials, you can see how to do that in Pinterest for business. And I looked up my specific industry, Pinterest for real estate, and I looked that up. So those are my tips for you on how to get started on that. And then, and remember, it does, as with all social media, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, it does have to be, it has to be gardened, it has to be attended to, it has to be cultivated. So you have to go into Pinterest, you have to pin regularly, and I saw recommendations recently where your daily activities could include pinning at least 3 times a week something on one of your boards, and then to pin at least, repin at least 3 things a day when you check into Pinterest from someone else, maybe industry specific, maybe area specific, but repin those, and then make a comment on things people have pinned. So don't be afraid to go to the comment section and comment on somebody's pin that you're enjoying. So those are the kinds of things you should do that daily, and that's daily is, you know, social media is daily, and you need to be attending to your social media daily. When you add Pinterest to that, you've probably already got, at the very least, Facebook, so you still have to attend to Facebook, however you do that, pinning almost daily, commenting regularly, interacting with your fans. And then if you have Twitter too, you need to post there and do that, and Pinterest and whatever else you have. So pay attention. You do have to spend some time on social media. It's going to pay off, but it is, you do have to spend time with it. So know that. And that's really about all I have to say. I'm going to check my messages here to see. Oh, so I think maybe some people are trying to log in. Well, anyway, I don't want to take your time. I'm out of things to say. And so I am going to cut it off here. I hope you got a few tips out of this. I hope you enjoyed it slightly, somewhat. I know it's better with a discussion, and I'm sorry we didn't have any other people join us today. But I will go ahead and cut it off now. And if you have any comments or questions, you can email me, susan.patereau@gmail.com, and you can give me your comments or your questions, and let me know if you want to have a private discussion about Pinterest. But be sure and go to my Pinterest board and check it out, and some of the other of your industry, and check it out and see what they're doing, and see if Pinterest could be of interest to you and to maybe ultimately pay off for you. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for joining us.